Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. Monday Night Raw was about as good as a Super Bowl halftime show. And if last night was any indication, you know that means tonight's Monday Night Raw sucked to high hell, and we are here to talk about it. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Monday Night Raw review. It's time to bring the hammer down. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Alright, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me. God damn, was this a bad show or what, you guys? Is it just me? Am I just hungover a little bit too much from last night's Super Bowl festivities, which were absolutely zero? Last night's big game was the most boring thing on television all week long until we come to Monday night. Trusty, good old Monday Night Raw. You know, they say they compete with everything. Everything is competition for the WWE, but I didn't know that they were in competition with everybody to be the worst fucking thing on TV in the history of TV. I don't care whether you're a Patriots fan or not. Last night's show for the Super Bowl and the NFL's big game, the biggest show of the year for the NFL, was as boring as anything I could imagine, but it was not quite as bad as your typical episode of Monday Night Raw. And tonight takes the cake. It proves it 100%. Now, don't get me wrong, tonight's Raw got started off with a hot note. We got started off with the hottest thing in wrestling, Becky Lynch, the man. She is on a tear. She is on her way to the main event of WrestleMania. And tonight, she gets put in a ring with Stephanie McMahon because they literally want you to compare her to Stone Cold Steve Austin. All of these podcasters like myself and everybody in the know and all of these big wigs on the internet who like to talk about wrestling from every corner of the world. Oh, Becky Lynch is like Stone Cold. Stone Cold Becky Lynch. Stone Cold Becky Lynch. Fuck that. Fuck that. Why can't she just be the man Becky Lynch? Why do we have to compare her to one of the biggest superstars of all time? Someone that she should not be being compared to in any way. There is nobody in the history of wrestling that is going to have the effect or the character or the connection with the fans that a Stone Cold Steve Austin has. So stop that shit. And now they literally want to mirror it to a T. They want to put her in the ring with a Stephanie McMahon, and they want her to get all Austin up in this bitch. Becky Lynch finds herself suspended by the WWE by Stephanie McMahon thanks to her refusal for seeing a WWE doctor. They are playing off this fucking knee injury, this unnecessary, ridiculous storyline, thanks to Nia fucking Jax, of all people, who still needs to have her name interjected into this program that should have nothing to do with her anymore. What did I tell you guys last week? Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey doesn't need all this extra. Do you know what they did tonight by suspending Becky Lynch? All they did was prove to you and admit to themselves that as a company, the WWE does not have the creative fortitude, does not have the intelligence or the time to waste to craft and meticulously make an intriguing and compelling storyline for the two hottest properties in the women's division to main event WrestleMania with. So what's the default thing? Well, we can't think of anything to do that will stay relevant, that won't be boring, and that won't make us look stupid. So let's just write an angle where we get her suspended and take her off TV. Now, on the one hand, you could look at this and say, well, this is brilliant by the WWE. It's going to make the WWE Universe side more with Becky Lynch. How much more can we be on her side? Ronda Rousey has gotten cheered. She is beloved by the fans. But when she is being faced off with Becky Lynch, It is a completely different story. Ronda Rousey's getting booed. The crowd wants Becky. How much more do you need to gain support for this woman? It's almost as if they don't even believe how over Becky Lynch is and need to come up with all this shit to convince themselves that this is going to be the main event of WrestleMania. It sells itself. It doesn't need McMahon getting involved. It doesn't need overproduced and scripted promos being forced in the backstage between a coincidental bumping into between the two prime candidates for the WWE Raw Women's Championship that just came off as so forced and so disingenuous and just typical scripted WWE bullshit. This doesn't require any work. It's already where you need it to be. All you need to do is maintain it. A couple of well-placed promos, a couple of well-placed face-to-faces that mean something. You want me to believe Becky Lynch is truly injured after just being shoved off of the aluminum steps, the steel steps? Not even from the top one, from the second one. And if I'm being honest, I have to go back and take a look, and I don't know if I'm just nitpicking for the hell of it right now, but as far as I remember, Nia Jax pushed Becky Lynch from left to right, and when she fell off of the steps, she fell on her right side. And I'm almost positive, I do have to go back and look, and if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me, but my brain says she fell from left to right. She fell on the right knee at the Royal Rumble. But today she's walking around with a left knee brace. She's got Natalya syndrome when it comes to her knee injuries, apparently. I don't understand it, but that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this giant clusterfuck that is so bad it could have definitely sank the Titanic on its own. Monday Night Raw continues to fail us as wrestling fans. Monday Night Raw continues to bore the shit out of us. This show hit me in the face like a right hook from the man and almost put me out for the count. The main event tonight, I fell asleep during twice. Twice. You want to tell me in 2019, after giving us a segment where Kurt Angle was coming out to tell all of us, hey, listen, there comes a time when a guy gets old and they got to hang up the boots. That's the direction Kurt Angle was going. And then we do a complete 360 and have Kurt Angle wrestling in the main event at the end of the same exact show. What world are we living in? Where a man who is telling the world, I can't do this anymore, is going, you know what? I'll be in one last main event. Why not? And we all know it's not going to be one last main event. And what the fuck was the reason for that match being the match to close the show? Why didn't they have what happened at the beginning of the show happen at the end of the show? Being that it's the more prevalent angle, it's the thing everybody wants to see the most. And if you want to have people interested into the deep ends of the third hour of Monday Night Raw, do not start and end the show with Becky Lynch and then have her escorted out of the building. Am I right? For what reason is Baron Corbin in the fucking main event of Monday Night Raw again? For what reason is Baron Corbin being teamed with Drew McIntyre, further dragging down one of the biggest prospects to have ever set foot on Monday Night Raw? It was bad enough when they saddled this guy with Dolph Ziggler, but now they're going to saddle him with Constable Corbin, dickhead. I don't understand it. They are so bad at their job that they have, if you wanted a professional wrestler and there was a store you could go to buy one, 99% of the things you'd be able to buy in that wrestling superstar store would resemble or have maybe at least 3/4 of the traits that you will get in a Drew McIntyre. The guy has been one of the best wrestlers in the world since leaving the WWE. He's a former Impact Wrestling champion. He's a former NXT champion. And since coming to Monday Night Raw, he has been dog shit. Being given partner after partner that just makes no sense, being put into 3-man teams that make no sense. 3-man teams that are somehow even worse than what he had in 3MB. What is happening? What is happening, you guys? What the fuck are they looking at? They're looking at a roster of talent that almost can't be touched by any organization in the world, and they can't give us quality television. They can't give us things we want to see. They want to give us a 50-year-old fucking road dog who's having an identity crisis. Hey, this guy don't know if he's the road dog, Jesse James, or if he's the roadie. Two specifically different characters. Two characters that had absolutely nothing to do with one another. There was no lingering amount of crossover. There was the roadie with Jeff Jarrett, who was an annoying hanger-on lackey of Double J, when Double J was the worst version of Double J, that nobody even wants to remember Jeff Jarrett in that electric cowboy gig with My Baby Tonight bullshit controversy song thing. You all know what I'm talking about. We all know that the roadie really sang that song for Double J, and the Slammy Awards that year was all controversial, and that was a completely different story than anything that had to do with D-Generation X. The road dog Jesse James and D-Generation X have zero to do with Double J Jeff Jarrett. I must have missed his induction ceremony into the group of DX, because why is he coming out as Double J's roadie doing all of the shtick from D-Generation X, telling people we got 2 words for ya? That's not for Double J. The Road Dogg found an opportunity, thanks to Jeff Jarrett now being a Hall of Famer and re-signing with the WWE, to get himself on TV outside of D-Generation X, and then only did everything he knows how to do from D-Generation X, complete with a suck it to end the whole entire segment after embarrassing Elias. For what? Who are you? Are you the roadie? Are you Double J's guy? Or are you DX's guy? When was Double J part of DX? I don't understand it. And then you want to have With My Baby Tonight played for karaoke for these 2 old men to sing on Monday Night Raw live in front of millions for the 2nd time in a row in the year 2019. Double J Jeff Jarrett has not wrestled on Monday Night Raw in 20 years. Do you think half the casual audience or the kids in the audience or anybody there tonight really gave a shit about some guy that hasn't wrestled in 2 decades on WWE television singing a song he sang in the early 90s? Who gives a shit? I told you guys last week, I, as a young man in 1993, 1994, didn't mind Double J. I had Full Metal, the album. I liked With My Baby Tonight. I played it on my acoustic guitar and I sang the words, and I could sing most of those words. But I'm not going to do that to you guys, because it is 2019. The song is irrelevant. The superstar is irrelevant. Just because he's made his way into the Hall of Fame does not give him carte blanche to come back and reignite every bad gimmick he has ever had in his life. And to top it all off, he wants to do all this while dressed as the newer version of Jeff Jarrett, the Slapnuts version of Jeff Jarrett, the one that fought China for the Intercontinental Championship, the one that started NWO 2000 with Bret Hart and the WCW that went absolutely nowhere. They're all over the fucking place. Road Dogg's doing all his DX shit. He's not wearing one DX thing. He's dressed up as the roadie. My brain was going to explode. There were so many things wrong about that. I could make one video about everything that was wrong with that one segment, and it would probably last way longer than this review. I cannot stand this show. I cannot. When you cannot tell me that they take anything seriously or that they care about anything when they have something as epic and as grand as the debuting of a new tag team championship for the women to fight over, and the best they can do is team up Alicia Fox with Nikki Cross. These two girls are both crazy. Let's put them together. That's not the same kind of crazy. See, Nikki Cross is that good kind of crazy. She's come to fight. She will gnaw her way through the ring ropes. All she wants to do is cause chaos. That's a mind frame that she is choosing to go with. She thrives in chaos, right? What the fuck chaos does Alicia Fox cause? She causes the wrong kind of chaos. It's not the same kind of thing. Stomping on your hat in the middle of the Royal Rumble is not fucking chaos. Playing grab ass with Maria Kanellis while you're in the Royal Rumble is not grab ass. I'm saying it's not. It is grab ass. That's what it is. I can't. It's not chaos. It's not chaos. The only chaos that she causes is chaos in my brain because I don't understand why Alicia Fox is still employed with the WWE. Acting batshit crazy and thriving in chaos does not give them a commonality to make them a proper fit. Alicia wanted to play with Nattie. What? Why is Nikki Cross even in this tournament? She's a singles wrestler. There were not two girls in Sanity. This is not a girl that has friends. This is not a girl that comes here to make buddy-buddy with people and have partners. She hasn't even had the time to be built up on her own in a singles capacity to the main roster crowd. And you want to pair her with the worst fucking woman in the roster? Girl can't wrestle her way out of a paper bag, but you're going to put her with Nikki Cross, and you're going to bring Nikki Cross's star power to complete zero. Unbelievable. You want to talk about tag team division? What tag team division is there for the men? It's like a broken record on this show. They took 4 out of the 5 tag teams of Monday Night Raw that are healthy enough to compete, and they put them in one match to determine who's going to be the next in line to face the Glorious Gables for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And look at the 4 teams that were in this match. The Lucha House Party, the Revival, the B Team, and Heavy Machinery. We're promising you a new show. It's a new era with new superstars and new matches. And in this Fatal 4-Way, you're going to have the Revival come out on top. So now we are going to have a 5th match in the series. 6th match, maybe. 7th, 8th. I've lost track of how many times we're going to see the fucking Gables versus the Revival. And what, now? If the Revival wins now, I'm supposed to take them seriously? Because they beat 2 moronic teams that mean nothing and a rookie up-and-coming team from NXT. Now they've earned their way. It's atrocious. Absolutely ridiculous. Seth Rollins, our 2019 Royal Rumble winner, was nowhere to be found. 6 F5s was enough to take the hottest property in the male division and keep him off TV altogether. We need to sell the F5s. Seth Rollins couldn't come out all taped up and deliver some kind of a rebuttal, some kind of a threat of vengeance, some sort of a message pre-WrestleMania to the Beast. No, we had to just see everything from last week all over again. Because that's what they were doing all night anyway, right? Let's be honest. What did we see last week that we didn't see this week? All you got to do is change up a few names. Elimination Chamber qualifying match for the women. Ridiculous, nonsensical tag team match for the tag team division. Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin as a team. What? Baron Corbin twice in one night again? This is Monday Night Raw, people. You already know where we stand. On this show, we don't hold anything back. We're not going to be blinded by an okay segment to kickstart things because of the heat that was generated in the crowd. Becky Lynch got everybody all into a fever pitch because she was playing Stone Cold and the McMahon was there to get their ass kicked. And everybody was like, yay! Except for me. Because it's all unnecessary. Just like the majority of this show. Just like the whole entire third hour of this show. Just like how having Bobby Lashley as the Intercontinental Champion is unnecessary. Now, I'm not the Bobby Lashley supporter. You guys all know that. He's the all-milk dud, boring Trashley on this show. That is his moniker. That's not a good thing to be called. I wouldn't want to be called that. But if I'm being honest, why wasn't that the match to at least close out tonight's Monday Night Raw? You could have had the Intercontinental Championship featured in the main event. But then you want to go and pull shenanigans and have Lio Rush in this thing instead. Fine. Fine. You still could have ended the show like that. At least it was centered around a championship feud. Finn Balor would have got a big win. Finn Balor would have been in a main event, coming off of his big-time performance with Brock Lesnar. But no, instead he's going to get his ass beat up last week by Bobby Lashley, and now he's going to have a measure of vengeance by beating a much smaller Lio Rush. Not really all that impressive, if you ask me. I've seen Lio Rush in the ring live. I know what this kid can do, and tonight was nothing compared to what I have seen him be able to do in a professional wrestling ring. And when they changed this matchup, I was very grateful that I wasn't going to have to see Bobby Lashley in the ring, and I thought that Lio Rush and Finn Balor was going to have the ability to blow the house down and really surprise people and get people to see the talent that truly possesses, that is possessed by Lio Rush. It makes me so mad. I'm fumbling all over the place. The kid's a prime-time talent. And he's going out there playing second fiddle to the all-milk dud and losing to a Finn Balor, which is not a bad thing. Finn Balor is the much bigger star in this equation. We are building a story towards the Intercontinental Championship matchup. But that would have been a better way to close out tonight's show than to have me have to see this ridiculous Braun Strowman storyline that I certainly don't give a shit about. Kurt Angle, what the fuck is he going to do after this main event now? Is he going to retire, or has this one match restored his faith in himself? He's going to return the 3Ds back into 3 eyes. The only 3Ds I know are disappointment, and disappointment. That's the 3Ds of fucking Monday Night Raw. And depression. Let's add a 4th D. Disappointment, depression. Because after this show is over, I'm embarrassed to be a wrestling fan. I would never show any of my friends an episode of Monday Night Raw and say, hey, listen, I want you to watch this. You want to see some good tag team wrestling? Watch this Fatal 4-Way. It'll put you to sleep. You want to see tag team wrestling? Go back and fire up Halftime Heat. It'll be way much more worth your time. A 6-man matchup that cannot be touched by anything that the tag team division can present to you all year. They can take every tag team from both divisions, unify the championships, and put them in a 19 fucking team ladder match with guitars and poles and cages and chairs and tables and ladders and the whole fucking 9 yards, and make it a Royal Rumble, make it elimination, give it all the bells and whistles. It will not come close to the action that you got on Halftime Heat. So if you missed that, go check that out. It was definitely much more worth my time than Adam Levine and the 2 other guys that I never freaking heard of. And the Super Bowl halftime show, ridiculous. I can't even believe that I would rather go back and witness that halftime show for a second time in my life than have to have watched this episode of Monday Night Raw. That is my opening statement, for lack of a better word, my opening hammering, because this show is fucking ridiculous. We are on the road to WrestleMania. Well, at least Raw is on the road to WrestleMania. Apparently, they forgot that there's an Elimination Chamber unless the girls are wrestling. And while we're talking about the girls wrestling, everybody back up a second and take it easy, because I'm just going to say that I'm all for women's wrestling. I love women's wrestling. But god damn it, can we at least rein it in a little bit? Why do we have to have almost 2/3 of the show now devoted to the women's division? Between Becky Lynch and the tag team matches tonight, and the Dana Brooke segment, and all the extra with Ronda, and all the extra with Becky. It's like, hey, look, we have women that work here now. We're gonna push the girls. Here, enjoy the push. I would not be feeling any type of way about this if it was being done properly. None of the girls are truly being given any respect. It's a facade. They're just using it as a public relations thing. Look at us putting women in the forefront. Meanwhile, any wrestling fan worth half their salt knows that this division for the women is an abomination. There's an easy fix, and that's just meld it into one division. We've talked about it ad nauseum on this channel. It's something we want to see become a reality and have more competition. Have the title rotating between shows. Make it feel important again. They don't do any of these things when it comes to the women. They have a stable at their fingertips in the Riot Squad that they have failed on multiple levels throughout the entirety of their run in the WWE. And they have an opportunity tonight, since they chose to do this thing with Ronda Rousey and the Riot Squad, to make them look like something. If this is what you wanted to do and have her take on Liv Morgan, of all three of the fucking Riot Squad, Liv Morgan is the one I want to see her fight the least. But I guess we have to start somewhere, and you don't want to just give away Ruby Riott versus Ronda Rousey. That's a lot of R's to say in one match, but that is a big-time match. Ruby Riott's a great talent, and she could bring Ronda Rousey to a good match. Liv Morgan, I can't say the same about. Sarah Logan, I couldn't say the same about. But in the course of 6 minutes, Ronda Rousey dispatched both members of the Riot Squad. And on the one hand, of course this is going to happen because it's Ronda fucking Rousey. But on the other hand, these are two girls that are going for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship Elimination Chamber match, being beat up in such easy fashion by the champion when they should have nothing to do with it. If they're on this tag team path, be on the tag team path. Why are you wrestling singles against Ronda Rousey? Making both of yous look stupid. Making you both look like losers. And like I said, the only person involved in that faction, the leader of the faction, Ruby Riott, the only person anybody wanted to see fight her anyway. It's counterproductive. Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan should be being made to look like a credible force. After that went down, and they both lost, they should have teamed up together and beat the shit out of Ronda Rousey. Making them look like maybe, hey, don't fuck with them in the chamber. They'll be together, and when they're together, they're a force. Separate, not so much. And then you have Ruby on her singles path. It's very clearly outlined in my How the Riot Squad Can Be Saved video, which is on this channel. And if you're in the WWE and you're watching this to make sure I'm not breaking copyrights and using footage and all that shit, take that fucking video to Vince McMahon and fix the Riot Squad. It's not hard. Things you do like tonight, counterproductive. Made the Riot Squad look stupid, made them look foolish, and who's going to give a shit about them after this now? Such a ridiculous squashing, while they're on a completely different path. It makes no sense to me. Just like the majority of tonight's show. The 4-way tag, we talked about it. The Revival versus Heavy Machinery versus the B-Team versus the Lucha House Party. Did you care? Because I didn't. I certainly didn't. It was a waste of Heavy Machinery. Who wants to see the Lucha House Party anymore at this point? Does anybody give a shit about the Revival anymore? And the B-Team? Glad they took 2 minutes from stuffing their faces in the back to actually become part of the fucking show again. Thanks for nothing, B-Team. Kurt Angle came out to make his retirement speech, gets interrupted by Corbin and McIntyre, who subsequently get interrupted by Braun Strowman before they are able to beat the snot out of Kurt Angle, and then a match is made for the main event tonight, and I wanted to throw up. Seth Rollins' video package with Brock Lesnar all about last week, instead of giving him something to do new this week. This is one of the problems we have by not having a champion that actually comes to work, because we had nothing said from either side. We didn't have the dominant champion talking smack about Seth Rollins, and we didn't have the victim talking about getting his comeuppance on the champ. We had was, hey, look what we did last week. Go fuck yourself, WWE. Nikki Cross and Alicia Fox. Pre-match crazy broad attack. We're so crazy, we're going to attack before the bell. And in a very confusing matchup, all 4 girls make it to the ring. This match is allowed to begin, even though there was a pre-match attack that apparently incapacitated the Boston connection. And then Bayley would go on and be the only one on her team to wrestle in the ring, to do anything of note, and single-handedly defeated the worst tag team ever assembled in WWE history. Now, while I'm not mad at it, it certainly didn't make sense that Sasha Banks played absolutely no part here, and the investigative journalist in me wants to just call out right off the bat that Sasha Banks might be nursing some sort of an injury. We didn't see her really get attacked in the pre-match attack. We seen Liv Morgan just go backstage and drag Sasha Banks out like her fucking luggage on her way to the airport, rolling her like a little carry bag. But we didn't see any true physicality. And then we seen Sasha just on the ropes for the majority of the match, grimacing and holding shoulders and whatnot. And Bayley, alone, got her team advanced to the Elimination Chamber. I'm supposed to be okay with this? If they weren't ready, there's still time. You could have had this match next week. Or, you know, be honest and tell us what the fuck is going on. Sasha Banks is hurt, but she's going to continue to wrestle for the tournament. Whatever. But I guess you can't do that and then have Becky Lynch being suspended for being hurt. So they kind of painted themselves into a corner with that one. They have a true real-life situation, obviously, with Sasha Banks. But if we do it for Becky, we have to do it for Sasha. So we can't be honest about anything, I guess. Fucking ridiculous. That actually just dawned upon me while we were talking about it right now. Bayley and Sasha advance to the chamber we were just talking about. Apollo Crews is in the back. They got nothing better for this guy to do during a 3-hour show than stand in the back, talk to Charlie Caruso about how he thinks Kurt Angle wasn't prepared to wrestle tonight. Why don't you call the friggin' wall a wall? Hey, see, look at this thing behind me. See this blue thing? This is a wall. Did you guys know this was a wall? I came here to point out to you that this was a wall. That was more informative than what Apollo Crews had to say. And then you have the Hobbit come out with the giant Razor, Drake Maverick, and these guys want to debate about the fate of Kurt Angle. Why don't you guys care more about what the fuck yous are doing on tonight's show than whether or not Kurt Angle was prepared to wrestle tonight? And why am I supposed to believe that Kurt Angle is Razor's Olympic hero? Oh, he's just mad because his hero keeps disappointing him. What? What am I listening to? This is fucking ridiculous. Don't you got something to go fucking pee on? Go pee on something. Why don't you pee on Apollo Crews at least? Then it would have been something worth seeing, maybe. Apollo Crews would have maybe got mad and actually did something. Ridiculous. Then we had the Double J Road Dogg Nightmare. Felt like I was watching the Flashpoint Paradox. Where the fuck am I? Am I in the 90s? Am I in the 2000s? Are we in WCW right now? Where are we? Oh, right, Monday Night Raw. The black hole of entertainment. The black hole of happiness. The abyss of destruction and despair of my wrestling soul. I sing with my baby tonight. For the second time on live TV in as many weeks. Too much, bro. Overkill. Elias ends up coming out, interrupting the whole thing. This guy is another one who's flopping back and forth from good guy to bad guy on the drop of a dime. Because now Elias is full-fledged heel Elias. He's coming out talking shit about all the people in their hometown in Portland, Oregon not being relevant enough to even have a football team. Taking shots. Who cares? Who cares? His sole purpose was to come out and have this segment with Jeff Jarrett. Elias got the win, thank God. But they still felt the need to embarrass him and have Double J splinter a guitar over his back while he and the Road Dogg can juke and jive and dance and be happy and strut all to that fucking song for the 100th time this week. And it just makes no sense. Why am I seeing this? Because the Road Dogg felt the need to put himself on fucking TV. Thank God my good buddy Jeff is here so that I can finally get back on the other side of the camera. Awful. A waste of Elias, a waste of our time. What's next? Elias versus Double J in a guitar on a pole / ladder match? Garbage, you guys. Dana Brooke. As soon as I see her, I immediately feel the rumblings in my stomach and I am fighting back all of the vomit from coming out of my throat. She's in the back. She wants to apologize to Nattie for last week. Alright? She goes through this whole heartfelt apology. Natalya looks like she's reading her fucking phone, right? Maybe she's reading a book, or she's invested in some sort of a website, or she's really intently looking at her phone that she don't hear the crazy broad screaming in her ear because she's got fucking iPod buds in her ear. I don't know about you guys. I have some iPod buds. I put them in my ear when I'm with the gym. You know what the first problem I have with buds are? They don't stay in your fucking ear, that's one. Especially when you're in the middle of a workout and you're all sweating and you're getting all greasy and, you know, you're doing the whole workout thing and you're dripping and your fucking buds keep sliding out your ears while you're on the elliptical machine and you're doing your thing and you just keep trying to keep your fucking earbuds in because you don't want to lose your music, you don't want to lose your rhythm. And I hear everybody around me. I hear the guy next to me. I hear his stupid TV on his treadmill while he's watching fucking Fox News. It's making me want to shoot myself for even being a human being. This guy over here is watching ESPN, and I can hear everything that everybody's saying. I can hear the guy chomping on his fucking gum behind me, and I got my thing full blast in my ears because my buds don't stay in my ears. But you got Dana Brooke about 2.5 inches from Natalya's ear, screaming like a fucking lunatic, and she don't hear her. I'm supposed to accept this? I guess I have no choice. Natalya had her earbuds in. So she didn't hear this apology. Dana Brooke takes it as an insult and is like, oh, I'm going to go talk to the McMahons and have a match with you now because you won't listen to me. Blah. Who writes this shit? And who gives a shit about the relationship between Dana Brooke and Natalya? Again, is Dana Brooke fucking babyface or heel? Every week she changes what she wants to be. She literally went from babyface to heel in one fucking segment on the same night. She came in there trying to be good. Oh, I'm sorry, Nattie. I didn't mean to do that. I was letting my ego get the best of me, this and that. You know what? Fuck you, Nattie. You don't want to listen to me. I'm going to take your ass out. Am I wrong? Of course not. That's why you're still here listening to me. You guys know what's up. You're the smartest fans in all of the YouTube wrestling community. You know that this is the place to be when you want your wrestling news bullshit free. I don't hold back anything. I tell you the way I see it, and you are free to agree or disagree at your pleasure. Sound off in the comments if you wish at any time. Lashley versus Finn Balor in a non-title matchup for the not for the Intercontinental Championship was the scheduled matchup, but as we touched upon, Lashley, who continues to go on about being better than Brock Lesnar, is this guy on drugs? Is he eating too many fucking milk duds before he comes out to the arena now? Why does he keep having Brock Lesnar's name in his mouth? If we somehow find a way to ruin Seth Rollins' WrestleMania main event the same way I think they're going to ruin Becky Lynch's and insert the Intercontinental Champion in the main event for the Universal Championship because he wants to keep talking shit about Brock Lesnar, I don't understand where it's coming from. This guy's delusional. He thinks he could beat Brock Lesnar in his sleep. He thinks he could beat him in the octagon. He could beat him in the ring. This guy all of a sudden became Dr. Seuss. I could beat Brock in a boat. I could beat Brock with a goat. I could beat him with my ham. I could beat him with my spam. What are you, fucking ridiculous? Brock Lesnar would wipe the floor with Bobby Lashley if Brock Lesnar was half dead with diverticulitis. Bobby Lashley wouldn't stand a chance. Anyway, I digress. This guy comes out, he tells Finn Balor, I was going to fight you, but I don't feel like fighting you, and you have to fight my little minion here, Lio Rush. And if I'm impressed enough with what you do here, maybe I'll give you that Intercontinental Championship match you so much desire, Mr. Balor. And then he would attack. Bobby Lashley would attack Finn Balor pre-match, just like Alicia Fox and Nikki Cross. He attacked Finn Balor pre-match, trying to give the advantage to Lio Rush, but that would not prove to be the case, as Finn Balor would be too much for Lio Rush to overcome. The guy's 2 times his size. This looked like Shawn Michaels versus Big Daddy Cool Diesel. And these are 2 little guys. It was kind of weird. But Finn Balor came out on top. Lashley got ejected from the match earlier on. And it was not really that eventful. Finn Balor playing with this injured ribs from last week. But we can't have Seth Rollins come on TV this week with injured anything. Then we had a moment of bliss. And I don't mean that literally. I mean we had the segment, a moment of bliss. Which is the complete opposite of what it claims to be. This is a moment of disaster. A moment of calamity. And a moment that none of us need to be a part of. How many weeks in a row now has this girl come on this show, her own show, and just completely lost control? At what point do we say, you know what, fuck this, we don't need this, it's a waste of TV, it's a waste of time? Alexa Bliss comes out, she looks as hot as she wants, she says some shit into her new sparkly dildo-inspired microphone, and she has the debut of EC3 on a moment of bliss. So for a moment I'm like, oh, okay, this might be interesting, but then you got Alexa doing a little double entendre dance with her words, talking about the size of EC3's bank account. Come on. Come on. Cheese. You want to talk about cheese? There it is, right there. The cheesiest of the cheese. All kinds of little sexual innuendos weaved in and out of Alexa's words. EC3 did not say a fucking thing in his debut before it would be trampled all over by a giant walking rhino that has 0 talent, 0 charisma, and a very punchable face. Now, I am not the type of person to condone violence between men and women, and I certainly don't literally want to punch her in the face, but, and this is going to sound weird, when the girl smiles, that fake smile, Nia Jax, I just want to punch her lights right out. I don't know if it's because she suddenly turns into The Rock when she smiles. Like, you could see that she looks like The Rock, and it's like, she's not The Rock! Boom! Stop it! Stop her with this push! Boom! Oh! I just want to squeeze her face right off of her shoulders. girl came out, she botched her first fucking line. The first line of the whole thing. She couldn't even get it out. And then she wants to talk about being she broke boundaries by entering the Men's Royal Rumble. It's happened 3 fucking times before. What boundary did you break? What did you break? You did nothing special. In fact, all the women who came before you had more eliminations than you. What did you do? Then she wants to talk about, oh, me and Tamina qualified for the chamber. Who cares? Why are you doing this over EC3's debut on Monday Night Raw? So Dean Ambrose can come out? Dean Ambrose, who was embarrassed by Nia Jax last week, came out, did literally nothing to Nia Jax, and for some reason had a problem with EC3. Dean Ambrose, who had the line of the night when he asked EC3 his rapid-fire questions. The best question, which you all know, which was, you call yourself EC3, all I want to know is what happened to EC1 and 2. Definitely got a chuckle out of me. And Dean Ambrose got a couple of more chuckles out of me throughout his little tirade there. But Dean Ambrose, flip-flopping from week to week just like everybody else. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, this guy's walking around dressed up as Bane in fuzzy collared jackets. And now he's standing there being respectful to Nia Jax, letting her down easy because he thinks she has a crush on him. And then wants to confront EC3 and just wants to know what he's all about. He doesn't do anything really imposing. He doesn't do anything more than insult the kid. EC3 punches Dean Ambrose in the face and then makes his way to the ring. Now we're going to have EC3's debut match on Monday Night Raw versus Dean Ambrose. The same Dean Ambrose who's leaving the WWE. Don't believe that shit for a minute. I will not believe it until it actually happens. And especially after how you've seen them book him tonight. Dean Ambrose is doing the right thing on the way out. He's putting over the young talent. That's not what I see. They got some sort of a weird plan in play. And I don't know whether or not it's going to be any good. More than likely it's not. But I did not enjoy the way they debuted EC3. The guy came out to his Top 1% song. He pointed out his 3 initials. But how does the man not have his first initial match feel like a real match? You don't come out to your song, have your entrance, do the whole 9, have your opponent come out, have the fucking ring announcer announce your name. But no, we're just getting impromptu matches being booked by superstars all fucking night long, week after week. I don't get it. I don't get it. EC3 beats Dean Ambrose in record time. Now, when you consider that Dean Ambrose has gone the distance with guys like Seth Rollins, guys like Dolph Ziggler, and he couldn't take care of EC3, he couldn't even last like 5 minutes against EC3. EC3 is either a much bigger star than everybody makes out to be, or the WWE just really don't care and want to get it over with. Just give him 5-10 minutes. Who cares? Just go out there, make the kid look good, and we'll figure out the rest of where we're going with you after the show. Ridiculous. We got more screaming Mojo Rawley. Talking about some fucking team. You weren't part of the team. Blah. Did you fucking care? Because I certainly did not. I cared even less about this than I cared about Zack Ryder, who fucked up his segment tonight by not being able to misspell his own name. I didn't miss that. He didn't miss it either. Kind of saved himself at the promo at the end. But I don't really care about the reunification of the Major Brothers / Edgeheads / getting Kurt Hawkins his first win in 3 years. I could care less. I could care less. I could care less about anything that has to do with Mojo Rawley. I care as much about all of that as I cared about the fucking main event, which if I wasn't clear, I didn't give a fucking shit about. It almost put me to sleep twice. It's one of the reasons why we're here so late tonight. Because I actually had to go back and rewatch the very end, which I regret doing now. But I don't want to come here not knowing what I'm talking about to you guys. And this match was fucking ridiculous. Kurt Angle and Braun Strowman versus McIntyre and Corbin for nothing, for no reason, in the main event of God forbid, WrestleMania, in the main event of tonight's Raw, on the road to WrestleMania. And it had one of the weirdest endings I think we've seen on Monday Night Raw in a long time. Apparently, Braun Strowman was disqualified, or got his team disqualified, because he touched the illegal man. Now, tag teams, you have a partner. I've seen many times, even on multiple times on this very evening, tag teams get involved with the other members of the tag teams that were not the legal member of the team involved in the match at the time. And I've never once seen any of them be disqualified. But that's how Monday Night Raw went off the air tonight. Braun Strowman, Kurt Angle lose by disqualification, yet end tonight's TV with their hands raised in victory. Celebrating and hugging like good fucking friends. Like Braun Strowman wasn't just trying to take fucking Kurt Angle's life a few months back when he was part of fucking McIntyre and Ziggler's entourage and they were trying to take back Monday Night Raw from Kurt Angle with Baron I can't even keep fucking track anymore. This show is the shits. And that was fucking Monday Night Raw. Here's all my notes for Monday Night Raw, and this is what I thought of that fucking show. Garbage. Week in and week out. No sign of anything's getting better. And if you want to go, oh, but Becky Lynch was there. Reminder, everybody, Becky Lynch is on SmackDown. She is not a part of the Monday Night Raw roster. So she keeps showing up and being the best part of Monday Night Raw simply because she's from SmackDown. And she's the fucking man. But now she's suspended. So who the fuck knows what they're going to do with her from this point on. Absolutely ridiculous. Thank you guys for joining me once again on this night for this Monday Night Raw review. On this February, do you guys fucking believe it was February 4th today, right? Let me check that. Yeah, it was February 4th, 2019. The month of January has come and gone like the blink of an eye. And we are fast on the road to WrestleMania. Hopefully they stop putting me to sleep. This is the second week in a row Monday Night Raw has put me out for the count. At least this time I woke up soon enough to get the review up, and you guys won't have to wait until morning like we had to do last week. Thank you once again for being here tonight. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed this week. We are solidly over 1,200 subs, and we now are looking for that 1,500 Sledgeheads to take their place in the Sledgehammer family, and you can help us do that by being the next one. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed today's show. If you agreed with any of my points, any of my opinions on tonight's show, then you, my friends, are a prime candidate to be a part of the Sledgehammer TV family. So hit that subscribe button right now. Ring the notification bell so that you don't miss anything that we got going up. Whenever we put up an awesome video just like this one, it will notify you when it is live, and you can come and join in on the fun that we bring right here on Sledgehammer TV. Don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed today's show and you enjoyed anything that I had to say today. This way I and the world know that you thought this was a great show. Smash that thumbs up for me right now, and then share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world, especially if they are still continuing to hope and pray that AEW gets started quickly. Because Monday Night Raw just ain't cutting the mustard anymore. And finally, this show is brought to you by Audible. Audible have over 180,000 titles that you can choose from to listen to at your leisure, so you don't have to waste time by moving your eyeballs around these little used to be trees, but now they're pages. Right? You want to save the earth. You want to be part of Daniel Bryan's brigade to save the environment. Audible's got you covered, and you could save a tree today by going to our link right now, audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv, and get your free audiobook with the signing up for a 30-day absolutely free trial. Cancel that trial before the 30 days is up, and you get to keep your book for the rest of your life. Listen to it one chapter at a time. Listen to it one word at a time if that's your thing. All you got to do is go and get it. And to get it, I got you covered. audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv. That's audibletrial.com/sledgehammertv. My name, ladies and gentlemen, once again is Nick Nightmare. This is my team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, and the Wrestling God of Thunder, his tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue, the Snowball Microphone. The most important member of the team, as always, is you, because without you, there's no reason for me to be talking to myself into this camera and into this microphone. So thank you guys for being a part of the team and a most important member of my family that is growing by the day right here on Sledgehammer TV. Continue to be with us for the rest of the week as SmackDown Live review is coming tomorrow. If you missed anything from Royal Rumble weekend, everything is there, from NXT TakeOver to the Royal Rumble and more. All you got to do is check it out. Most of it will be linked in the annotations up above for your easy access. That, my friends, is going to do it, and we are out of here, and we will see you next time on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV. Bang.